Hey guys, welcome back to Buzzer to Buzzer. Alrighty guys, so in the past week we found out about the blockbuster NFL trade which went down between the New York Jets and the Carolina Panthers, in which guys, New York Jets quarterback Sam Darnold is going away to the Carolina Panthers for a second round, fourth round, and a sixth round draft pick. Now guys, this makes the moves interesting. Not only are we going to see Sam Darnold going to a place where the Panthers already had a QB going system going with Teddy Bridgewater, but also putting into question the future draft moves for the Jets. Our overall thoughts on this trade.
I think that the Jets, with what they have without a QB, obviously they have the second overall pick in the upcoming draft. I think that obviously they're going to take a QB, no question. If I had to pick a QB that is probably the favorite, I would say Zach Wilson right now. I think he's a great prospect. He has a lot of talent. He's pretty promising. And I don't really see another move that they would make other than draft a QB to fill up that vacancy. But it's pretty interesting too, because I think that looking at 2018 when they drafted Sam Darnold, this year too, they're going to draft another QB. So I think that there's some statistic saying that, so the Jets are the only team to take a QB with their top 3 picks in the last 3 years. So that's pretty interesting. So I think Zach Wilson's probably the top candidate for them.
Personally, I think a 2, a 4, and a 6 was a bit too much for Sam Darnold. I think 2, a 6 would have been good enough, and honestly, even a 2 is honestly what I believe Sam Darnold is worth. But moving past that, now there's a QB competition in Carolina: Teddy Bridgewater and Sam Darnold. And before this trade, a lot of people thought Trey Lance was going to be the next quarterback for the Carolina Panthers, whether after a year or coming in from day one. But I think this has lots of implications for the NFL draft. So obviously, there's a lot of debate on who the best after Trevor Lawrence, who's the best quarterback in the draft. Right now, there's a sort of consensus with Zach Wilson at number 2, and then sort of people teetering between Justin Fields and Mac Jones. I personally believe Justin Fields is more of a prospect, and he's valued higher by a lot more teams than Mac Jones is. But the 49ers, who actually hold that number 3 spot, are rumored to have more interest in Mac Jones. But I think this makes the rest of the draft so much more interesting. I mean, we have to look at the number 3 pick, right? San Francisco just traded in. Miami traded back to 12. And then they traded back up to 6 with the Eagles. The Eagles are now dropping back. So for me, right, let's look at the number 4 pick. The Atlanta Falcons, the news just came out that they're open to trading out of that spot. So they have Matt Ryan. So are they going to go all in on that offense? They're going to draft a Kyle Pitts to add to already that amazing offensive attack. They have Arthur Smith, who's an offensive coach, and we all know what Matt Ryan can do when placed in a good offensive system like he was with Kyle Shanahan. And so there's that route. They could trade back out, but it also decreases the value of them trading out, because now some teams might be trading back up for Mac Jones at the number 4 spot, spending multiple first-round picks when it might not even be worth that much. Obviously, number 5, the Bengals. Joe Burrow's pushing for Jamar Chase, his former LSU teammate. But there's also Penei Sewell, who's an amazing generational offensive lineman. Then it leaves the question for the Dolphins, probably Jamar Chase, whatever wide receiver they see as number 1. The Detroit Lions, another team that could trade out of the spots. Patriots are interested. So there's a lot of dominoes here. But I think the biggest winners of this trade are the Denver Broncos. It's been rumored that they want a new quarterback. Drew Lock might not be working. He hasn't turned out to what they all expect to be. So now Trey Lance or Mac Jones, whoever the 5th quarterback is perfectly in line to fall to that number 9 spot after this trade. And so I think if anyone wins this trade, it's the Denver Broncos.
Well, that's looking at a very expanded view, Harsh. For me, it's looking at the Carolina Panthers right now, looking at how they did not see Teddy Bridgewater as a long-term answer, and it was a bit surprising. I felt like that they had faith in him ever since Cam Newton left, but obviously this past season, Teddy Bridgewater could not get the job done. It's horrific to think about how that injury in Minnesota sort of just catapulted his career down. He was looking to be a heck of a quarterback as the years were to come. Now looking at the Jets, I'll be like you said, I'm most likely thinking that they're going to go with Zach Wilson in that spot. The top 10 picks, we're going to see a bunch of quarterbacks going off the spot. Although I can't provide as much of a depth as Harsh did about that. I still think that the Panthers paid a bit too much though for Sam Darnold, giving up a 2nd, a 4th, and a 6th. I think somewhere in between there could have made more sense. But giving that much up for a quarterback like Sam Darnold, no disrespect, but he didn't put up the stat line. It wasn't the season I think the New York Jets expected last season. So interesting to see how the Panthers and the league now reacts to this trade going down in the upcoming draft. Alrighty, guys, well, those are our thoughts on the Sam Darnold trade going down. As always, guys, be sure to like button, subscribe, and comment down below your thoughts on what this trade impacts around the league in the upcoming NFL draft coming up as well. Guys, as always, take care. Catch you guys on the next one. See you guys.
See ya.